Okay, man, you're thinking about moving to Costa Rica, making a life in Costa Rica, living in Costa Rica. You know, we always can't just talk about the good stuff. We just can't talk about toucans and sloths and beautiful beaches. Sometimes you got to talk about the things that are uncomfortable, but they need to be talked about. And who better to do that than me, because nobody else does it. I bet you don't find any kind of video like this, what I'm about to talk about. Maybe, but not too many, we'll just go say. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com, fill out the 4-minute form, and you'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. And man, I'd always appreciate a subscribe. Thank you very much in advance. You know, I appreciate everybody's well wishes. I got to tell you, man, I feel like shit. I've gotten worse. Actually, yesterday was the worst day. I feel like I'm in some sort of weird semi-reversed coma. My mouth moves, I can say things, but my body is done. Doesn't want to move. Now, don't feel too bad for me, because a lot of this is of my own making. I tend to push. I mean, I listen to my body, but I try to get right there on the edge and see if I can skirt it a little bit. So although I do eat well and exercise and all those things, sometimes I try to do a little more than I probably should be doing. And so, so what happened basically yesterday is my body said, you are not gonna shortcut your way to wellness, mister. Lay your ass down until further notice. And that's pretty much what's happening. So after this video, I'll be back in bed. So it's all good, man. You know, we all have our little things, right? So all good. So, man, hey, guess what? It's Wednesday, February 10th. You know what that means? It means it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Remember that song? Okay, anyway, it's my birthday. So, now the reason I don't care about I haven't cared about my birthday since after I turned 21. I've never celebrated, really. I don't care about it. Sometimes me and D'Angelo, his birthday's on Valentine's Day, so that's only 4 days away, you know, whatever. And so we'll go out to eat and have dinner together and act like we care about each other's birthdays, but neither one of us really care about those days. But this one is important to me only because I am at the age when my dad died. Now, this video isn't about that, but it kind of segues into it. So this isn't about my dad and me. But anyway, so my dad died, but when I'm looking back on him, I'm thinking, man, he looked way more older than I did. But is that just my imagination? Is it wishful thinking? Is that really true? Maybe, you know, maybe he didn't look that old. But now my father, I got to say, was a very heavy drinker, a very heavy smoker. And for him, there was no such thing as basking too long in the Florida sun, Crisco included, when he died. So to me, he just looked kind of old, you know. And so I'm thinking, man, I'm his age. That's so crazy. But you know what? This isn't about me. This isn't about my dad. But it got me thinking about this thing I'm about to talk about. So, and it needs to be considered. If you're going to live in Costa Rica, you need to think about your end days in Costa Rica, right? It makes sense. It is uncomfortable. Nobody wants to talk about it. And it almost doesn't really matter your age. You need to consider you're in another country. It changes a lot of things. You know, well, no, it changes a lot of things. That's it. So now I've lived here 15 years, okay? In La Fortuna. So I've seen about, I think, 10 to 15 people die here. Some very good friends, some just acquaintances, and some just on the periphery of just were gringos, and that, you remember that one guy that drove that white truck, he died type of thing. And now most of those were cancer. A lot of them were heart. There was one suicide. I remember 2 being particularly sad because they died completely and utterly alone in a Costa Rica hospital. And it was just kind of sad. But the last one by far, 5 months ago, a very good friend very good friend, my age, went in to the doctor to check on. She was having some issues, I think, with her stomach. Lo and behold, it's cancer. 5 weeks later, she's gone. She didn't even have a, you know, I just can't imagine. You can't even, how do you even wrap your head around that quick enough to do things? And that was just, oh, so sad. She was such a great lady too. So that was particularly sad. So she left a place, you know. She happened to have money. Her family had money, and she had her own little place outside of La Fortuna. And you know, what happened with that? Hopefully, she got in those last 4 or 5 weeks, she was able to maybe get in contact with lawyers and do some things. But I don't know if you know this, but if you're a local, if you're a Tico, and you, like, let's say you die of natural causes here. You know, you're older and you just died. Do you know you're in the ground the next day? You know, around here, if someone dies, it goes around, you know, it's scuttlebutt very quickly, and it goes from neighbor to neighbor, town to town, and there's a funeral the next day. Embalming is not really a big thing down here. So why am I telling you that? Because there's a lot of variables if us as gringos die down here. And are you a resident down here? Do you have the Caja and you died? Are you a perpetual tourist and you died? Are you alone and you died? Do you have a kin and you died? Is the embassy going to be involved and you died? Are you going to ship remains back to the United States? There's a ton of variables that need to be considered, especially which now, because a lot of people are like me down here for the most part. You know, they're coming down kind of by themselves, you know, and living life by themselves. They're not a couple. And these things really need to be looked at, because if you really want to screw up your next of kin or your family, don't have a will. You know, don't have a will. But I would say if you're going to get your residency down here, what you should be doing at this pretty much the same time is getting involved with a lawyer about your last will and testament and exactly what you want done and what's going where. You do not want it tied up in Costa Rica. You know what I mean? So I just think it's very important. Now, another new thing that's happening right now to, I don't know, my circle, there's a person that's older, and they're older by anybody's definition of older, and their mental and physical capabilities are starting, you know, a fairly consistent decline. Okay, this person really doesn't have family to speak of. This person is in denial about this decline to some degree. And so now what happens? What if let's just say kind of dementia-y? You know, what if this person becomes harder to manage? What if they can't manage, or what if people start taking advantage? You know, all kinds of different things can happen. And how do you talk to somebody that doesn't even recognize that, really? You know, and that could be very sad to watch, because again, you're in another country. Who's going to, you know, be the, whatever they call it, who takes care of that stuff? Is it going to be Costa Rica's involvement? You know, and then you have to think, you know, again, is it an expat with residency and they have the socialized medicine? Obviously that helps. But what if they're not? What if they're perpetual tourist types? And you know, so dealing with that kind of thing, just regular old age stuff, it needs to be considered. And since I'm getting older, and today's my birthday, I thought this was a perfect time to talk about it. All right, man, that's kind of it, right? So I'm not going to be doing anything for my birthday, although yesterday, hold on one second. I did get myself some new white t-shirts. Not really because it was my birthday. It's because I needed white t-shirts. Anyway, guys, enjoy your day. I'm going to enjoy mine in bed, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Go get your will. Things are going to pop up, man. If you're thinking about living in Costa Rica or even traveling here, always do your homework. And what better way to do your homework than watch my videos? See ya.